people was in my ear, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, you are the prize. If a person see you doing good,
every time I start to close the door, you knock and I let you in.
what's up everybody? Welcome back to the Everything Mingley podcast. In today's podcast, we're gonna talk about the 3 R's, which is reflect, regroup, and refocus. Now, today's topic is very important because we looking back on the things that we have to learn from, the things that no longer serve us, the things that we thought we wasn't able to get out of or expand and grow from, but we made it. When I look back on the things that I've accepted, and we are just talking about relationships. And relationships can just be just any type of thing that you have a relationship with. I can truly say that I always knew my worth, but I felt that everybody needed a chance to be in my life. And it was more so of trying to empathize with people instead of understanding that everybody is not deserving to have a place in my life, because my life is precious, my life is valuable, and you have to be mindful of the company you keep. I used to have people in my ear, and I still do to this day, but I've learned to trust my own instinct and do what I feel was best for me. And people always told me was, give a person a chance, give a person a chance. And every time I gave a person a chance, even though I have already set a standard for myself when it came to relationships, I thought what I was asking for was too much, but what I was asking for was just only too much to the wrong person. So when people was in my ear and always told me like, just give them a chance, give them a chance, I said, you know what? Okay, I will give this person a chance to be in my life. And then somebody else told me, you just give up too quick. Because the first red flag, I will be gone. I will be out the door so quick and you would never hear from me again. When I did those two things, I would say that it let me down every time. Um, and that's when your worth come in place, because when you know your worth, you got to understand that everybody is not meant to be in your life. If you set a standard, it's so important to stand on what you say, because when you don't stand on what you say, a person would think that you're playing, what you're saying is not serious. And when you let them play with you that one time, they're going to continue to play with you. Prayer is power. I speak on a past situation I dealt with. I will say this. When I met the person, I've prayed, and that's why I say prayer is power, because I prayed, I said, if this person is not meant to be in my life, give me a sign. And I kid you not, it was a sign, was like, no, do not go on this first date. No, do not be around this person. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was like, nah, that may be a wrong sign. I'm going to continue to go. Now, every relationship, at the beginning of every relationship, and I'm obviously talking about the relationships that goes wrong. At the beginning of the relationship, it was the love bombing honeymoon phase where, I'm just thinking like, oh, this is so perfect. I'm happy I didn't go by what was told to me of not go. Like, I'm just smiling into ear to ear, like, this is beautiful, right? But of course, that started coming crashing down, and true colors has been shown. And I always tell people, from what I've learned in past experiences, is this. It only takes a person to get comfortable with you to reveal who they truly are. And once they reveal who they truly are, you're going to either take it and accept it, or you're going to leave it where it is at and walk away. So for me, I have to train my mind to be stronger than anything, because if I get in a relationship, a person can brainwash your mind or have you falling in love bombing, whatever you want to call it, to make it seem like whatever they're doing wrong is acceptable because y'all supposed to be together. Y'all love each other. He's perfect or she's perfect in your eyes. And it's really not that. It's just you being blindsided. Because when you think about it, when you walk away from these situations and you realize, nah, it really wasn't worth it. Because it really was not worth it. It really was not worth it. What I had to understand is part of the ups and downs when it comes to relationships is not disrespect. It's not cheating. It's not lying. It's not things that will hurt you and tarnish you or put your character in a such way where that's not you. People try to paint themselves as, oh, I'm this and that, and really is not what it is. So when I accepted those things and I knew at a point where I had to walk away, I still was like, you know what, let me give it a try. Let me give it a try, because people say I give up too quick. People say I don't give chances. I don't, I got this standard that's unbelievable, but really the standard I have that for me when it comes to relationships is a standard I live. So if a person cannot live by my standards, then of course I need to be with somebody that can. Because when you set your bar, you got to stand by it, because you will be disappointed. And all else fails, I will say this. I let the situation get the best of me where I started acting in ways that didn't reflect my true character. I let a person paint a picture of me that wasn't me. And of course, the truth came back and was like, okay, I know this person was lying. But to let it get to that point, it just wasn't worth it. And the important thing about when you're reflecting on situations that you've been through, you got to understand that everybody go through something. Nothing would never be perfect. But you have to understand that it's okay of the things that you've been through. But you also have to accept that this is not what you should tolerate anymore or any longer. So when you look back at stuff and you just understand, like, hey, I walked away from that thing, what I've dealt with that no longer served me, it takes you to a beautiful place of peace. And peace is very important. So after you reflect on everything, you regroup. And, I took some notes. And when it comes to regrouping, it's getting yourself together, creating healthy habits, create things ideally for you before starting your day. So you cannot dwell on the things that you've been through that no longer serve you, but it's best important to overcome those things. When I was in this particular situation, I was broken from the outcome of what I accepted, because I'm like, there's no way in the world I accepted this mess. I allowed someone in my life that didn't love nor value themselves. It was okay for me to do the same for myself. And it was just because I thought like, oh, you know what? It's love. It's okay. Let me fix this person. And one thing about it, you cannot fix nobody that don't want to be fixed. You can't help nobody that don't want to be helped. And so for me, it was giving chances at the chances where a person was breaking me down, and they was loving every bit because they wanted me to feel the level they was on. And in reality, it was a whole nother sight that I just couldn't deal. So for me, creating healthy habits, once I got out that situation, I had to snap out of it. I had to understand I got to know my worth. You know, I got to stand in my power. Like, I am the prize. So when I stepped away and created healthy habits, I started like finding hobbies. I started like putting in the work of making more money. I started just trying to just do things for myself, like knowing how it feels to be alone. Because at the end of the day, when it comes to a situation that's not working out for you, that's no longer serving your purpose, how does it feel to be alone? Because you got to understand, there are some people in this world that don't know how it feels to be alone. And for me, I always been in relationships. Even like when I was in school, I always was in a relationship, like it was a rotation. I'm gonna be honest. So when I finally decided, you know what, I'm gonna be out this relationship and I'm gonna stay single and I'm just gonna focus on what's best for me, I learned so much about myself. And I learned the power into, it's okay to be alone. It's okay to get your mind right. It's okay to just focus on you, because single life is really not bad when you think about it. Being with the wrong person is. So the time of me being in a single life, I was like, if I'm gonna get into something, I'm gonna make sure I do it right. That's the only way I want to do it, if I do it right. And I feel like also when it comes to just dating wrong, and I had to regroup through the whole situation, was because I had to understand that the people I've dated in the past was not the people of my standard. I had to understand that I didn't truly love anyone in the past, because I have a certain level when it comes to love, what love is. And love just can't go for everybody or be with everybody. Now, don't get me wrong. Everybody's out here to be loved by someone. But the standards and what I truly feel that love is, it just wasn't that. So I just had to get my mind right, and to understand who I was and as a person, and just to understand that when I have daughters to raise, I had to set this standard not just for myself but for my daughters, and what I want them to accept when they get older and what they shouldn't accept. So just doing things. So when you creating these healthy habits, when you regroup from everything you've been through, it could be working out, it could be meditating, taking yourself out on dates, writing, whatever it takes to start a healthy habit. But the most important thing is just making sure that when you wake up, you give thanks and prayer to yourself, because first and foremost, it's very important to do what's best for you and give time to yourself. One thing I've learned when it comes to relationships is that, you can't just make your life solely about that person. You got to continue to do what's best for you, because it will hurt less. And another one is refocus. Refocus is remember why you started in the first place. When we caught up in life, we focus on survival mode, which is a distraction from our goals, our life purpose. Take time to elevate and achieve the purpose. So after you regroup, you refocus, and you just got to understand who you are, your power, why you started what you started, meaning after you reflected on the things you've been through and you decided, okay, I got to get myself together, And when you focus, this is what I'm doing and the reason behind what I'm doing. Because you no longer serve your past. You no longer want to go there. You want to better yourself to just be that better person and surround yourself around better, setting a standard, and you got to stand on it. Because when other people say, oh, your standards is unbelievable, or give people chances, or you giving up quick, you know that there's so many people in this world. It's not unbelievable. Whether that person see themselves as worthy or not, you got to always know that you are the prize and that you're worthy of whatever you want. Especially when you do the work within yourself and you are that standard, you can set that standard and stick with it. I feel like everything I've been through when it comes to past situations was a learning lesson. And I feel like the past situations did not go anywhere due to the fact dealing with someone because they wanted to deal with me. But it just, I knew what I really wanted. But I was trying not to be so picky. I had to make sure that I do not put myself in disappointment. Train my mind to be stronger than anything. So if anything go wrong that no longer serves me or that's not making me happy or purposeful in my life, I have to let it go. I had to understand that I don't have to go through hell and back to say, oh, I have a man, or I'm dealing with somebody, or whatever the case may be. Someone that values me is very important. And so I'm happy of how far I came that I don't have to deal with that anymore. And so the whole purpose was when the end result of just relying on your journey, why you want to be here. Never worry about no one else. When you rely on your journey, because it is very important to know that it's a purpose behind everything you do. And when it comes to pain, heartbreak, that's a feeling that nobody wants to deal with. We have to understand that it's okay to start over. It's okay to try again. And I don't want to get emotional, but from what I've dealt with and from what I see, like all in the media or whatsoever, I see so many women talk about, oh, I'm going to continue to deal because of history. And like I said, everybody have their own journey on how far they want to take it when it comes to dealing with the wrong person. But I always advise people when it comes to dealing with somebody that your happiness matters. If I can go back and tell the younger me to not have people put their bugs in my ear to say, give them a chance, you give up too quick and all this stuff, a lot of things will be done differently. The right person would have been met probably years ago, but I feel like everything is trials. Everything you go through, because one thing about it, you got to go through the hell to see the other side of the tunnel and see something beautiful. And a lot of people make excuses, and especially in the community of women, we make excuses for these men on why they cheat on us, why they abuse us, why they lie to us, why they mistreat us, why they're deadbeats. It's so many excuses in the women's community for these men. And when it's vice versa, these men would throw us under the bus, feed us to the wolves if they wanted to. It's quite pathetic. I feel like if everybody reflect on what they've been through, when it comes to past situations. When they regroup, get themselves together and take a moment of knowing what their heart cannot take. Knowing what should be worth it and what's not. Understanding their self-worth, their self-love, their standards. Take time to refocus on who you are and why you are where you are today. Just think about what no longer serve you. Because I don't care what nobody say. Everybody want to be happy. Everybody want to be at peace. Because imagine the most heartbreaking thing is something I dealt with, before. When you know you're not truly happy in your relationship and they still ask you to post them on social media or vice versa, it's the most heartbreakingest thing. And like I said, I could be speaking for me. But being with someone that don't make you happy and you posting them on social media or trying to paint this picture like y'all so perfect, it's heartbreaking because deep down, your heart is not chilled from that situation. You're not truly happy no matter how much you paint this picture. And I feel like women, we have to stop trying to paint a picture like everything is good in our relationship, because when the truth come out and people don't believe that, oh, we've been through hell and back with this person, because they gonna look at it like, but you were just saying all this good stuff about them. And that's why I tell people, and I hate to say it, that's why I tell people that I know, I don't protect men. I do not protect no man that don't protect me. And like I said, this is not for every man, but a man that don't protect me do not get protected. Because trying to cover up for a man and play like everything's good, and I'm getting fed under the wolves by him with no protection, and people is not believing me until God did that work and said, oh no, they're going to believe you. And then it's like, wow. But I said, you know what, no more. I'm not going to protect no man. So you just got to think about what's worth it for you. Set an example if you have children. Knowing what your heart can take and what it can't take. Forget the history. Think about why you should be happy. If you got to be alone for a while till you find that right one, why you should be happy. Why you deserve so much. You got to understand that you are deserving. No matter what people tell you or what people accept on social media or influence you, you are deserving. You are worth it. You can have whatever you want to have. You just got to put in the work. And when you look back at the things that you have done for yourself, you can have at least those things. So if you put in the work of just healing and having a free spirit and a good heart, that man should have it, because nobody should interrupt your peace, interrupt your mind, your way of thinking, your way of living. It's so important to just think about your journey and how far you came to say, I overcame these obstacles, I overcame all this, and I don't live here no more, and I don't want to think about it no more. And I think for me, I think that's when all the good things started transpiring in my life. Because one thing about it, I always put myself in a position that even though I'm going through these different situations and different relationships, I always kept my eyes on the prize of what I wanted to achieve, what I wanted to do, and what I wanted to have in my life. But at the same time, I had to understand that it's very important to know that if a person see you doing good and they're not, and they don't see good for themselves, they want to make sure you're doing bad. So I had to understand that the company I keep wasn't important if it's not good company. And make sure that that person that's coming on your journey, or that you're going to meet along the way on your journey, is a person that's worth it. Another thing I see like on social media when it comes to relationships, girls talk about how they don't want to date a man with no kids if they ain't got kids, but then they'll turn around and end up dating a man with 4 or 5 kids and they don't have no kids. And then it's just like now it's a whole bunch of chaotic mess that if you stood on your standard and stayed on that level of this what I don't want, you wouldn't deal with that mess. So I think we got to also stop backtracking for people. If we say we don't want to deal with it, let's not deal with it. No matter how fine they are, no matter how much they got going on, how much they can love bomb us in the beginning, whatever the case may be. If you don't want to deal with it and you got it written down or in your brain that this is what I'm accept and this is what I'm not, stop going back on your word, because that is a way for you to be disappointed. So reflecting on the things you've been through is very important. Regrouping, getting yourself together. Refocus, remember why you started. And then the last one is to rely on your journey. I'm telling you, when you set a standard in your life, it will take you a long way. Never let no one take you out of your character. Never no one make you feel bad about what you believe in, how you feel. Do and date what's truly for you. And keep your mind strong to know what's worth it and what's not. And understand the ups and downs. It's not cheating, lying, abuse. Just anything that's just not right. I love you. Until next time.